Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and you might remember Social Autopsy. It's come up recently in a couple of big ways, right? You had the creator of that site go from being a liberal to being red-pilled, clearly through a suppository, to now becoming a conservative, and then a crazy one at that. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I don't want to rag on Candace Owens too much. Life has already done that for me. However, Social Autopsy itself, the concept itself, her entire idea behind it was essentially a doxing and harassment platform masquerading as a way to stop bullying and a way to report bullying. And she will deny that till the end of time, but everyone who's ever looked at this even remotely objectively has figured that out. Well, Candace might be a little bit ticked off because she might have jumped off the liberal ship a little bit too fast, because it turns out that someone else is attempting to do something similar, however this time for business. So it says here that 20th Century Fox tech exec exits to create site for reporting sexual harassment and bias, amongst other things. Now, while this isn't exactly a 100% ripoff of the idea of Social Autopsy, it is... oh, it's super close. So it says here, with the recent tidal wave of stories about sexual misconduct in Hollywood and other industries, Claire Schmidt is leaving 20th Century Fox to try to do something to address the problem. Very similar to how Candace Owens decided to create Social Autopsy as a way of shaming and blaming people to get them to better their lives through potential doxing and potential harassment, right? Even though, again, she's denying that, but that's effectively what it was. So Schmidt, who joined 20th Century Fox as VP of Technology and Innovation just 8 months ago, has started a new venture that will let people anonymously, right? Keep in mind here, report incidences of sexual harassment, discrimination, and bias they witness on the job. Her startup, the LA-based AllVoices, is developing a tool that will let anyone submit first-hand accounts of harassment or bias to their company's CEO and board directors on an anonymous basis. Man, that's already 100% frightening to me. That is already 100% frightening to me. This is the same reason why we campaigned against Social Autopsy. It's the idea there of this anonymous person coming out and levying these accusations against somebody. There has to be due process in this particular case. And I understand the idea of whistleblowing in this case, and I'm not against that as a whole. But it's really, really, really sketchy to create a platform where people can anonymously say that they were harassed and have it go to the CEO and board members. That is going to end poorly, because look at what's been going on recently. Just a simple accusation has been destroying careers, has been destroying livelihoods. Even when there's no evidence to support it or no way to support it, it doesn't matter. Hollywood is in this witch hunt, and Claire Schmidt here is trying to continue handing out the torches and pitchforks as a way to get this startup off the ground. In a Medium post announcing the venture, she said that the issue is personal for her because she's a sexual assault survivor. And look, I understand that. To a lot of people, this is a personal issue because they've been victims of these incidences. But we still have to, above all else, realize that we are in a functioning modern society with a court system, a criminal justice system that relies heavily on due process. We cannot move away from that. To go into the anonymous shaming and blaming route and make that the norm, it's not only Orwellian, it's got a healthy mix of McCarthyism in there. And I've pointed this out before, that we're heading back towards that particular mindset, that type of fear in Hollywood, that fear that what could be accused against somebody. And you know, we're going to see people that maybe want to knock someone out of a job. So they'll go and they'll submit this anonymously to go to the CEO of that company to get that person under a microscope or a magnifying glass. This, just in my opinion, is not the right way to go about this. Now, she says, with all these stories coming to the forefront, I realized I had to do more. And I get that. I'm not faulting her for wanting to do something. I'm not faulting Claire for wanting to act. We are, I think, at our core, empathetic creatures. I think humans are more empathetic than we let on. I think our cynicisms and our biases and other things do sometimes mask that and shield that from us, exuding that as an outward thing. But I think ultimately we are all empathetic, and we all want people to be safe, to be happy, to be fine, to be healthy, to be successful, and we don't want anyone to hurt, and we feel bad when they do. So I understand that where she's coming from is this place of wanting to protect people. But I just want to quickly remind you, so was this. And we saw precisely what the database allowed for. We saw precisely what people could do with it. We know exactly what the internet can do with it. Now, I don't know if AllVoices is going to share the database, right? I don't know if it's going to become a public thing, but it becomes this backdoor. They hold the keys. They are the gatekeeper to whether or not your accusations go to a CEO or a board of a company that you work for. Maybe it's not the same whole cloth, but there are elements that are taken, and that is frightening to me. So it says here that the recent onslaught, she says, that the recent onslaught of women and men coming forward to tell their stories about assault and harassment have been incredibly surprising to me. As I read news article after news article, I kept thinking, have we done enough? Have I done enough? And again, empathetic. It makes sense. Last month's expose on Harvey Weinstein's years of alleged sexual harassment and sexual assault have had a major ripple effects. Absolutely. Others in the entertainment industry have since accused of sexual misconduct include Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., and Brett Ratner. The yet to launch AllVoices will aggregate reports by company and deliver those to the CEO and board without any personally identifiable information. The site will keep users informed of progress on each case and whether the company has taken action. We believe that the increased transparency and accountability will help companies see that they must take action and help them prioritize what to do first. Again, they are effectively the gatekeepers, right? They are effectively what's going to happen. Now, just as a quick, hypothetical here, a hypothetical of what could go down. What if down the road this thing becomes super popular, okay? And hackers decide to breach the database. And you can't say, never going to happen. Equifax, that's the thing, right? People thought Equifax wasn't going to be hit. I think Wells Fargo's been hit. Target's been hit. Sites get hit, okay? And what if somebody goes in and gets this database of information, and now all of a sudden they have got the emails, they've got the accusations, they've got the names of the accused and the accusers, and they leak all of it. It would not only torpedo AllVoices, it would torpedo many people's careers, both the accused and the accusers, simply because there would not be any way of providing any kind of context in the situation. And it would be bad. And that's one of those things that is a valid fear of this particular project going forward. So it says here that investors in AllVoices include Zillow CEO Spencer Rascoff, Tinder co-founder Sean Rad, Sukhinder Singh Cassidy, former Google exec and founder of Joyous, and law firm Wilson, Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati. Advisors include Susan Fowler, the ex-Uber engineer who detailed the ride-sharing company's sexist culture and led Uber to oust CEO Travis Kalanick and embark on other reforms. According to Schmidt, her research found that employees feel that reporting harassment through HR channels comes at a significant cost to their career. If we can provide a safe way for employees to report, we can help more people. Maybe. I can't say yay and I can't say nay. Maybe. It's a possibility. But also think about where we are in this climate right now. When you're coming at it from the aspect of, have I done enough? And you create a service like this, a platform where people can anonymously accuse others, right? And then give that to the board. What if the board then investigates and nothing's gone wrong and they find nothing to have been wrong? Like in the case of IGN's whole blow up from yesterday, where there was an HR investigation. HR found there to be both parties at fault, kind of assigned both parties to not engage with one another. And that wasn't enough. What happens then? What happens when this Anonymous Reporting Act becomes, I don't know, a platform for trying to strong arm companies into firing people or publicly reprimanding people, or it starts taking that data and leaking it out to the press as a way of trying to shame and blame? As I mentioned before, McCarthyism is feeling like it's coming back. It's feeling like it's legitimately, truthfully coming back. And that is frightening because that is not how we should proceed. If reporting this crime, okay, look, the thing is, I understand the fear of having a significant cost at their career. I do get that. And that is a very real and valid concern. But at the same time, when speaking out about this kind of stuff, you have to attach your name to it. If you don't attach your name to it and it's just anonymous, then it almost comes across as like, well, without evidence, I can just dismiss it as easily. Because this is how you have to assign someone's name and face to something in order for there to be levels of, I guess you could say, belief there. It's a weird thing to say. I know that sounds bad to say, and I maybe I'm formulating it wrong, but I think you guys can get what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, people say like, oh, we want it done anonymously, so then these people don't have to relive it when they're talking about it. And to which case I have to say, I get that, but at the same time, tough shit. Suck it up. Okay, if I have to talk to the FBI about my swatting incident, I have to relive that incident every single time. I have to think back to details concerning that, what led up to it, what happened during it, what happened after it. I have to always think back to that when I talk to my contact, when I'm going over this case. And it's been almost 2 years, right? So the idea there that like, oh, we don't want them reliving this there's no way around it. And trying to create a safe space for them to report stuff and then not have to deal with it as they're reporting it, again, is not the way to do this. And I understand that people don't want to relive this shit. I get that. And I don't want them to have to go through that pain. But when you make those accusations, when you're trying to get justice, you have to. This allows people to submit anonymously what could potentially destroy careers, whether it is true or not, we don't know, and submit it to the CEO and the boards directly as a way of creating that internal investigation. But again, what if things don't go the way that the submitters want? What if the accuser wants someone fired and they're determined to find that nothing was wrong or that it wasn't handled in the way that they want? Did they then go public with it? Did they then continue to push it? Did they leak out more information? These are things that need to be addressed before this even remotely goes public or remotely comes out. Personally, if it was me, I would divest from it completely. I would come back later on when it was something that is more well thought out. The listen and believe I guess you could say the listen and believe world we find ourselves in right now is not good, because it does away with the idea and the thought of due process. And we need to maintain that in order to have a functioning society. But people these days, they don't want that. They don't want to think like that. They just want it. They want to throw their accusation from across the web or from behind an anonymous source, watch the destruction and chaos happen, and then go about their day as if nothing is wrong. And that is not something I'm going to ever advocate for. Right? We fought back against Social Autopsy because of what it could be, because of what was available. AllVoices is not much different. It's just going by a different name. Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.